As one of the beloved animations of the 2000s, Nickelodeon's Avatar mixed stunning animation with a carefully crafted story that earned a bevy of praise throughout its 3-season run. With its elemental martial arts action, a game based on the show seems like a no-brainer and is actually quite an appetising prospect. But when it's made by THQ, the proprietors of licensed mediocrity, things start to go downhill. And while The Legend of Aang has some faithful concepts to the show, it's a vanilla action RPG that becomes increasingly dull long before you reach the end. While it somewhat fits into the timeline of the first season, Legend of Aang does attempt to craft a unique story. After being awoken from a frozen sleep lasting 100 years, Aang begins to prepare for his training to become the Avatar. All the while, the Fire Nation begins their pursuit of dominance, with Zuko, in particular, attempting to track down Aang and his two companions, Katara and Sokka. So far, that's nigh on identical to the initial season of the show. But as the game progresses, a new threat emerges, diverging the game away from the series a fair bit. It's inoffensive, but lacks the charming interactions and the wit of the show. The few cutscenes just don't add much to the game, despite using the show's cast. Avatar is a plain, uninspiring action game with RPG elements. It feels like a Baldur's Gate clone, with a distant top-down camera, focus on action, and side quests which ape Dark Alliance to a degree. But it's supremely straightforward, with 7 areas each loaded with similar, repetitive objectives. Along with story progressing quests, Aang can take on optional tasks. These rigidly follow fetch quest templates, with certain objectives forcing you to use Momo to collect items around the map. An NPC will need hard leather to craft an item. Another NPC will want you to find toys for children around a village. It just lacks any semblance of variation, and a sense of deja vu will emerge very quickly. The combat doesn't fare much better. Along with Aang, you can switch between Katara, Sokka, and an earthbender called Haru. Each come with their own power set, allowing you to use several abilities in combat. Unfortunately, there's not enough variation to make switching worthwhile. You also have standard strikes and a block, but fancy tactics aren't necessary at all. As you face dozens of repetitive wolves, guards, and other bland enemies, the easy combat is close to mindless. So when you combine this bland combat with tiring objectives, you're in for a dull time, and a pointless series of RPG mechanics, such as levelling up bringing little change, armour making no improvement, and no skills or custom mechanics to incentivise levelling up, they do little to help. The only praise can be directed at visuals. Despite borrowing the oft-used cel shading style, it admittedly looks pretty decent and is true to the show's excellent style of animation. The characters are replicated carefully and show fluidity during cutscenes. Though the environments are a bit bare at times, they benefit from variety and vivid colours. And the performance is mostly smooth too, though cutscenes can stutter and cause syncing issues with the voice acting. The sound is completely barren though. Barely used music is generic, repetitive sounds and jingles grate quickly, and the voice acting, despite featuring much of the cast of the show, doesn't help the average story. It's rather poor. Aang's adventure isn't the shortest, even if quality is an issue. Each of the 7 areas does contain a handful of quests in each, as well as collectibles and hidden chests, which often require unique abilities from each character and a keen eye to discover. You'll probably spend over 10 hours on the game altogether, which, while hardly inspiring for an action RPG, is lengthier than a lot of licensed fare. Bonuses, such as artwork and concept art, can be unlocked too, but whether the slog of a journey to get there is worth it is debatable. Avatar: The Legend of Aang fails to capture the excitement and enjoyment of the show. It isn't offensively bad like some licensed games, but it is such a soulless and uninspired attempt that you can't help but come away disappointed, particularly if you show interest in Nickelodeon's classic series. The combat is uninteresting, the quests are boring as sin, and the game even lacks polish at some spots, particularly towards the end game, where stuttering cutscenes become close to unwatchable. It seems THQ didn't expect you to make it to the end, but with such a bore of a product, it's easier just to avoid this to begin with, even if you are a fan of the excellent show.